Pictured second from the right, Nipissing First Nation Chief Scott McCloud, alongside two councillors being presented with a gold award from IPAC, the Institute of Public Administration of Canada. Through this national award, NFN was commended for their efforts to reach the Memorandum of Understanding concerning the joint stewardship of Lake Nipissing. Due to these efforts, the Lake Nipissing Walleye Fishery is rebounding after several years of highly publicized distress. I sat down to talk with Chief McCloud in Garden Village. The most difficult hurdle? The balancing act of enforcing provincial laws while balancing the treaty rights of Anishinaabe commercial fishermen and women.
Our inherent rights to govern ourselves was put to the test, and basically it was finding a solution to incorporate our inherent rights and recognize our inherent rights into modern day legislation, and with a parallel government that has jurisdiction on the lake as well as us.
Let's go back 6 years to 2012 when a report sounded the alarm bell concerning the health of the Lake Nipissing Fishery. It is a bit wordy, bear with me here. It was called the Lake Nipissing Fishery Strategic Collaboration on a Shared Resource of Assessments. It said that there was almost a total absence of reproducing adult fish within the walleye population.
Definitely there was imminent danger of collapse of the stock. I wouldn't say extinction, but collapse for sure. Much in the same scenario as the East Coast cod fishery back in the 80s, and so even though there appeared to be a fairly good amount of fish in the lake when somebody would go out and try and catch fish, the problem being was that they were not reaching the age of maturity, and therefore there was no recruitment back into the stocks. So with the efforts that we made, what we achieved, or it looks like is working, is that we're seeing more females of spawning age maturity get to those spawning beds and actually start reproducing, and that's the signs that we're seeing.
And are abandoned gill nets an issue, continue to be an issue, or has that been addressed?
Well, I mean, again, it's something that's sensationalized. If you know anything about the gear of commercial or index netting, the nets have to be properly set in order to actually be efficient in catching fish. When nets are lost or cut or abandoned, as you say, those types of things, the net after a few weeks tends to get full of algae and doesn't fish as properly. Yes, it is an issue. It's not as big an issue as I think it's made out to be, but the reality is now, with improved monitoring and our presence out there, the number of incidences of lost gill nets or damaged gill nets are very minimal.
The chief offered an introspective view into human activity on the lake.
I've always maintained that there's no such thing as fisheries management, because if you leave the fish alone, they know how to take care of themselves, and it's actually people management. We have to manage our own activity out there, and that's what we're doing.
The open water season for walleye fishery on Lake Nipissing is May 17th through October 15th.